Welcome to WHHI News. I'm McNair, and here's a look at your headlines. Within hours of former President Donald Trump's Wednesday announcement that he'll run for president, South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster made it official he'll back Trump in 2024. Senator Lindsey Graham quickly followed suit with his endorsement of President Trump's announcement of a third run for the White House. Well, it's unclear right now how the former president's announcement will impact two other South Carolinians with presidential ambitions. Former Governor Nikki Haley, who served as Trump's UN ambassador, had said she wouldn't run for president if Trump were to enter the race, but said later she'd run, quote, if there is a place for me, end quote. Well, if you've been to Beaufort Memorial Hospital recently, you'll be pleased to learn that the hospital gets an A grade when it comes to patient safety. That's according to a newly released report from the Leapfrog Group, a national nonprofit watchdog organization that assigns a letter grade to nearly 3,000 U.S. hospitals based on how well they protect patients from preventable medical errors, accidents, injuries, and infections. While some of our area hospitals declined to participate, like Hilton Head Hospital and Coastal Carolina Hospital, Beaufort Memorial Hospital's A grade is a step up from its B grade just 1 year ago. Now, if you want more information on how that grading system works or information on other hospitals, you can go to hospitalsafetygrade.org. Beaufort County School Superintendent Frank Rodriguez has gotten the nod of approval from the county school board with a vote to increase his salary and extend his contract. On Tuesday night, the board gave the go-ahead to raise Rodriguez's salary by nearly 5% and extend his contract to 2028. Now his annual salary is just over $251,000. Just 2 weeks ago, the school board gave Rodriguez a highly effective rating in his annual review for the 2021-2022 school year. Only one board member, William Smith, voted against giving Rodriguez that raise. Well, even though the vaccination rate in South Carolina is higher than it's been, COVID isn't going away. Nearly 3,000 new cases were reported last week, and 17 more people died of the virus. 67% of the state's ICU beds are filled. The Department of Health and Environmental Control, or DHEC, says there have been nearly 19,000 deaths from COVID in the state since the pandemic began. A little over 60% of those eligible have received at least one dose of the vaccine, and 54% are considered fully vaccinated. But only 23% of the children between the ages of 5 and 11 have gotten that vaccine. Well, the city of Beaufort has hired the head of community development of a similar-sized town in Colorado to become Beaufort's new director of economic and community development. David Pritchard resigned earlier this year because of a conflict with his wife's job with the town's largest developer. He's been replaced now by Kurt Fries, who held a similar position in Beaufort, Colorado. That town's motto is the Garden Spot of Colorado. It's about 40 miles from Denver and 30 from Fort Collins, and also deals with balancing its history and the environment with population growth. Beaufort is still looking for a new city manager to replace the retiring Bill Prokop and has a final list of 4 candidates to choose from. Well, early voting continues for the Hilton Head Island mayoral runoff race between Alan Perry and Joanne Orshak. You can vote up until 5 p.m. on Thursday or any time between 8:30 and 5 on Friday at the county building across from the First Presbyterian Church Mid-Island, or you can drive to Beaufort County's main voting center on John Galt Road. The regular polling places will be open on runoff election day, that's this upcoming Tuesday, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. For details on these stories and more, check the news sources on your screen. Also, be sure to find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you have a story idea for us, email us at WHHITV.com. And now, with a look at sports, here's Justin Jarrett. Justin?
Hey, it's time for Last Night in the Loco on WHHI, powered by LocoSports.com. Beaufort's Bryce Libren was named the Coach of the Year, and star running back Casey Fields picked up Player of the Year honors in Region 8-3A after the Eagles rolled through their 4 new region rivals by a combined 168-43 score this season. Libren has led the Eagles to region titles in 3 of his first 4 seasons as the head coach, and the 1 year they didn't win the region, they reached the Class 4A state championship game. The Eagles have won 10 straight since the season-opening loss at Class 5A Power Fort Dorchester, and much of their offensive success has come on the powerful legs and shoulders of Casey Fields. Fields has amassed 1,711 rushing yards on 194 carries with 24 touchdowns, and he didn't move to the backfield full-time until Beaufort's 4th game of the season. Fields was joined on their all-region team by teammates Michael Dennison, Hart Cushman, Adrian Lamb, Jack Sumner, Keon Rivers, and Colton Ferries. The Eagles host Gilbert in a matchup of region champions Friday night in the lower state semifinals. We'll have coverage of that game, plus Estill's 3rd round home game against Cross on Friday, as well as the Skeeza State Championship matchups featuring Thomas Hayward and Colleton Prep on Saturday. So check out Loco Lights in Monday's edition of WHHI's News at 5. For Loco Sports and WHHI, I'm Justin Jarrett. Until next time, go Loco.
Thanks, Justin. Now it's time to turn our attention to Maria, who has our weather forecast.
Thanks, Allie. Yep, so taking a look ahead, it does look like this cooler weather is here to stay, but the good news is we shouldn't be seeing too much rain this weekend. Taking a look at Friday, it's going to be sunny but cool, with Hilton having a high of 57, a low of 36. Bluffton's going to have a high of 58 and a low of 33, and Beaufort's going to have a high of 59 and a low of 33. The sunrise for Friday is going to be at 6:54 and sunset's going to be at 5:21. Taking a look at the beach tides, low tide's going to be at 11:39 a.m. and high tide's going to be at 4:22 p.m. Taking a look into the weekend and into next week, Saturday's going to be sunny and we are going to see a passing shower late in the evening. Temperature-wise, it's going to be highs in the 60s and lows in the 40s and 30s. Sunday, it's going to be cloudy with highs in the 50s and lows in the 40s. And then come Monday, it's going to be cloudy. The highs are going to go back up into the 60s, but the lows are going to stay in the 40s. That's it for today. Let's head back to the desk.
Thanks, Maria. And when we come back, we're going to find out what's happening in Bluffton these days. Also, some weekend warm-up with Jessa Jeremiah. She'll let us know what's happening over the weekend. Stay right there.